Hello and welcome to another episode of Cable and Credible Radio. How is everybody today out there in Radio Land? We are well, as I hope you are. What's going on, Justin?
Well, so much is going on. It's almost like what isn't going on. Big Wrestlemania weekend. I was out there since pretty much late. I would consider it late Tuesday, early evening. My days have been so mixed up. I've literally had 48 hours of sleep and must say sober sleep, which is totally different when you can't sleep. It's been rough. A lot of excitement, a lot of fun. Wasn't particularly thrilled with WrestleMania as a whole. The presentation I thought was great, but in a lot of areas, as much as those guys gave their hearts out, they were still lacking.
You don't think The Undertaker gave us a good match? The man can still move, like back in the day.
Yeah, he can still move. He's playing Vince's card. He has Vince's own,
Right. And I thought Kurt Angle looked good.
Oh, yeah. Kurt looks great. And numerically, how everybody's medically cleared to wrestle around the time that everybody's needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
but what are you going to do? Politics.
Right. So how's the so first let's talk about WrestleCon. How was that down there? You said I have a few pictures posted up of you rocking the Cable Incredible T-shirt, and
yes.
Pretty much everyone was there, right?
Everybody who knew who I was, which was surprising because there was a lot of little kids there, a lot of kids with belts, lots of kids with action figures. I mean, you could tell really which one sells.
Yeah, and so were you present for the Jake the Snake British Bulldog incident where he threw the coffee at Jake? You weren't there?
No, I was in the vicinity, but I did not see it.
Yeah.
I did not hear about it till secondhand, and I'm glad I was not there. No, because I like Jake, but anybody that knows Jake knows that he's had a big mouth for a long time, so maybe it was something that was obviously Jake being Jake years ago that, I guess Harry, who's a good kid himself, never had a chance to say anything about it. I guess it bothered him enough that it was said, But only they know the truth,
Right.
So,
Well, something, when on Roddy Piper's podcast, he makes mention about how how the original British Bulldog got into sort of a ribbing war with Jake, where the British Bulldog and Dynamite Kid were throwing lit cigarettes in the snake bag so the snake would get angry. So when Jake went to open it, the snake would bite him. And like those snakes, a lot of people don't know is they have like sharp fangs under their lips that'll like tear you right open.
Yeah, they protract just like real snakes.
Yeah.
Cause I had a ball python when I was younger, and I went to feed it, and it wasn't eating. So I knew something was wrong, so I went to take the animal out. The caged animal, after a long period of time, it was still alive. It hadn't been hurt, and it was wide awake, and the snake kind of didn't want it, refused it, and he died a week later. So,
Right.
Yeah, it was real weird,
Right, but if those snakes, even a ball python, isn't that what Damien was a ball python?
Burmese.
Oh, Burmese, that's right. So what Jake was talking about, how he retaliated for the Bulldogs getting the snake to bite him, is that he went and gave Matilda several chili-covered hot dogs one evening, and then when the Bulldogs went to the bar after the show, he kept knocking on the door, so the dog basically soiled one end of the room to the other, quite literally. And that's really the only thing. Now, don't get me wrong, that is very original and hilarious at the same time, but...
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know, you have to understand if you're going to bring an animal like that, you're responsible. And animals can act anywhere they want. You can treat them all you want, but at the end of the day, they're animals and we're people, so...
Right, right,
It's just one of those crazy things, man. I wish him nothing but the best, though.
right, right. So how's the movie coming along?
Yeah. The movie's coming along great. We have this show, May the 20th, that I believe, Cable Guy, you're going to be making your debut.
I am.
Your infamous, I should say, debut, with some training by myself. It's going to be really interesting. I hope, a lot of people come out for the Pro Wrestling 101 live event, which is basically during the afternoon for 2 hours. I do 2 classes, a guy and girl class and a guy class. And,
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. Okay. So how did
You know,
so I noticed on your Twitter you had some pictures up of your movie shoot in the prison. How did that all go?
well, that wasn't my movie shoot. It was a movie shoot. It was a movie that my director is making that he was the executive producer on.
Oh.
So, because of that, I got to be in a cool movie with, featuring some famous actors who have played famous mob villains,
Hmm.
throughout the era. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty
Nice.
cool little nugget to throw out there. Now I could be on film.
Right, right.
You
Uh,
know,
so
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 that's cool.
so down at the Wrestling Con there was a Ring of Honor show, and I have to say one thing: Ring of Honor has grown substantially from back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard nothing good has come out of anybody's mouth that wasn't good about Ring of Honor. I heard it was packed too. I don't have a figure in front of me,
I I
but I heard that there were quite a few thousand.
Yeah, I saw a video of someone like doing some highlights there for his YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
it was like it was like big like the Flickinger Center from back in the day when ECW came into town.
pretty much.
Like
Pretty much.
like back in those days, it was always sold out.
Well, they had fresh guys going in and out too, so you never knew what to expect, who to show up.
Right.
That was the big allure of it, in my opinion, back in the early to mid to actually most of the late '90s. But that element of surprise has always been there. So the Brock situation was weird because he wasn't anything that we all of a sudden I don't know. I thought his match somehow under-delivered for as much as they did out there themselves. People were chanting. Most of the arena dome was chanting refund
Hmm.
because they were really not happy with the show moving forward. So
Right. Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I hear you. So
Yeah,
so also down at WrestleCon, this is a social media question I got. There was a lot of
sure.
there was a lot of the members of the Lucha Underground down there. Now, is it true or false that you're familiar with Mil Muertes, right?
Yeah, I am, and I'm also friends.
Okay.
Barely friends with who's the other gentleman that crosses the border quite a bit, and he's actually Mexican. Super crazy.
Okay. Okay.
But he doesn't have a problem usually getting a visa in here. So no, it's always cool, but it's always risky. And it's too much anxiety for an old man to do all of this by himself. So I can't wait. May 10th, director Eric Nighthouse comes back,
Hmm.
and we should be wrapping this thing up. And Cable Guy, we are going to need you as much as you need us.
Right. Right. So the question is about Mil Muertes. Is you've seen him in person, right? Is it true he's not as tall as he looks on TV?
Who Bradshaw, Bradshaw, whatchamacallit? What's his name? You just mentioned his name.
Mil Muertes, the
Oh,
luchador. Is it true that he's short in real
oh,
life?
he is. He's very short, but not uncommonly short for you and I.
Right.
Let me explain. It's just really Jeff Hardy looks small, and he's taller than me.
Right.
And he probably will build, so I'd probably say he's a legitimate 6'8".
Hmm.
But they probably build him at 505 or something like that.
Right.
Regardless of what the cutoff time is.
Right. So here's another social media. Here's another social media. This is a funny question from social media. A lot of people have wondered. Okay, now, no two ways about it. A lot of the boys back in the days of the 90s, 80s, and early 2000s, they were bigger than rock stars. Okay, and it's no secret. It was no secret that a lot of them went around sowing their oats throughout America. So, was there ever that conversation amongst the boys that one day, like 20 years later, around now, that someone's going to come up to them and like, "Are you my daddy?"
It's yeah, it's a bit disgusting. I mean, but again, it's a sign of the times, and it's a sign of millennials and their behavior and attitude towards the beautiful sport and aspect of professional wrestling. You're not going to always. A lot of people always think, Vince should finally give a big payoff. He should finally make it so everyone is happy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no way Vince can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Quite honestly, I mean, you bring me in, and I might feel I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Especially into a city of that nature, New Orleans. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Get every town you can hear, every street corner, trying to sell you stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
just one of those things.
Right. So, okay, so here's the follow-up to that question. Who do you think, which one of the boys from back in the day would be most likely to have a bunch of kids running around?
I would say probably Dustin Reynolds.
No, not Gold Dust.
I would think so. Honestly.
Oh, no, not Gold Dust.
I could be wrong, but I haven't looked at my fake Wikipedia page on Goldust lately. So I would say Goldust, yeah.
Oh, no.
Just strikes me as, again, no inside info. Cable guy, he just strikes me as a type. So, anyways.
Time will tell, I guess.
digress. The only time will tell, exactly.
Okay. So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here's another social media question. What is the most out-of-the-way venue you've ever performed at? Like, most middle-of-nowhere place?
Bingo hall.
Oh, yeah? Like, whereabouts?
Just Philadelphia.
Oh, and it was like the middle of nowhere?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, what is
as part of the country?
No, I mean, like, what's the... Okay, you're familiar with the term barn burners, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like, what's the most, like, remote, middle-of-nowhere, country bum venue you've ever performed at?
Oh, you mean well, again, ECW Arena in Philadelphia.
Oh, so it was just like that in the middle of nowhere?
Well, it is in the middle of nowhere. It was really in the middle of it was in the middle of South Philadelphia, which is not nowhere, but it's in the middle of no major roads. You even had to take go down a one-way street against cars to get there at a certain time of the day.
Okay.
So even though, although of course I should have answered it a little differently, there's a way to answer that, but you're looking for something in some small place in Quebec,
right,
with a population of 6, and all 6 of them are related, and 2 of them showed up to the wrestling show.
Right.
Places like that exist, but ECW Arena, for what it was, is probably the shittiest of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Now that they fixed it, not so much, but location, nobody was going there at the time. Now it's a multimedia complex.
Right.
It was really, really a bad neighborhood. There was no access on or off or parking. It was just a cheap place they could rent, and plus Philadelphia itself, the scape is huge, landscape. So there was no way, unless, we got lucky that that was not in the middle of nowhere and finding it. Because even though at one point I'd been there many, many times, and I still wasn't able to find it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I know it's not the answer you're looking for, but that's the realest answer you're getting. It really was like that.
Well, that's the nature of interviewing. One thing I learned early on is you could ask a question and the answer could be totally not what you expected, but that is still the answer.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, again, I could pick on little small towns, but nothing sticks out more to me than middle of nowhere, you know, Philadelphia, which again is an oxymoron. There's never a middle of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
that was in the middle of a bunch of condemned buildings. No way to get there.
Oh, wait,
Middle of nowhere.
the buildings were condemned around it?
In some places, the ECW arena is located underneath a highway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
didn't.
again, it's a weird question the way I'm answering it,
Mhm.
but again, the fact that that's just not the right place for any kind of facility to be,
Right.
is So yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think you got me. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't mean to keep going in the social media questions, but we're about to wrap up the social media part. Now, another question I got is someone wanted to know, did you ever have any encounters with Bane, the guy who played Bane in the Batman and Robin movie, Robert Swenson?
No, I have not. No,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. Yes.
Oh, but you,
He used to wrestle as Jeep Swenson, right?
yeah, and he's,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah. No, I never met him. Never ran into him.
okay. What about the Renegade? Did you ever know the Renegade?
I did not. No,
Okay.
I did not.
He was
Was
very
that Joe Gomez? Was that his name?
Rick Wilson.
Rick Wilson. Okay, Joe Gomez was the other guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, what about now this happened before you were in the WWF, but do you remember the Chuck Austin incident?
I do not.
And like what was it like you were around while that was all playing out, the lawsuit and everything like that. Was like Vince like worried that was about to, put an end to things?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, in your opinion, what do you think happened? Because, like, I watched the footage time and again, and it's just, obviously he hit his head the wrong way, but should they not have just let him
Um.
in the ring? Should they have,
Yeah. I mean, are you talking about the steroid trial or?
No, I'm talking when it was Chuck Austin versus the Rockers, and Marty Jannetty put the rocker dropper on him, and instead of falling with the rocker drop, he jumped with it, and he landed on his head.
Oh, that's right. That injury. Um. I don't know. I mean, I think that's something where a magical payout happens.
Hmm.
Very mafioso. That problems like that tend to go away when somebody slips you an envelope full of cash.
Right.
Because one thing WWE is known to do is to keep you in litigation, and they will make you broke that way.
Right.
They will drain your financial, you know what I mean? There's
Right.
ways around courts where big business always wins over the consumer, the little guy, whoever
Right.
that person is. So,
Right.
yeah, definitely. Something happened there where some money was given.
Right.
Similar to with Drozdov. I think Drozdov still gets a check too.
Right. Did you know Draws?
Yeah,
You did?
I did very well. Yeah.
Yeah, and what experiences did you have with him? Like, what was your experience like working with him?
I thought he was good. I thought he was very talented.
Right.
What happened wasn't his fault.
Right.
Unfortunately, accidents do happen.
Right. And
And, of all people, D'Lo was super easy, so.
okay.
And, yeah, I don't know.
So, did you get to see Shawn Michaels down at WrestleCon?
I did not. There was such a lineup around him.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw the regulars. I spent a little bit of time with Ricky Steamboat little bit of time with Jake, a little bit of time with Scott and Kev. Let's see, who else did I see? Daphne I saw, Shane Douglas.
Right.
I saw Jerry Lynn briefly, One Man Gang. We saw, pretty much, I mean, I didn't run into all of them, but ran into, those are the most notable ones. Sabu, of course.
How is Sabu?
He's Sabu in every sense of the word.
Yeah, I know.
Insert emotion / situation there.
Right. And how's the One Man Gang? Is he still doing shows, or is he retired?
Oh, he's been retired. I think he works for Louisiana Correctional Facility as some kind of a lieutenant or something, as a higher up position. He's doing great. Gang still looks great. Lost a lot of weight, but still looks like the One Man Gang.
I heard he was I heard he had some troubles a while back, like with his house flooding and everything.
He did, yeah. He did, like a lot of good folks that lived there, because he lived, I don't know to be sure, but I think he lived a good 15, 20 minutes from the heart of New Orleans. So, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, so now that we're since we're on that, let's talk about real quickly about future guests for the listeners. I for one, I told you how I managed to arrange Hannibal, the dude from the indie scene. He's down to come on for
You know what? And that's fine, but he's been giving me some really negative comments on my public or on my social media.
What?
Yeah, on Hannibal TV, I believe is his handle.
Yeah,
wow, saying stuff about I hope my kids don't watch it, and how could a father do something like that, and really being kind of a heel toward me, which I didn't even bring it up to you because I didn't think it mattered, but I blocked them on both my accounts.
Oh, well, that's a straight up bag thing to do,
Yeah, he's not a friend of the show, and I wouldn't even give him the platform, but that's on you. Hey, I could tell you what, I can make up for it and give you a hell of a better one.
Right. Well, moving along here, we mentioned in other episodes that I know we have the listeners waiting, but Hall's coming, Nash is coming, X-Pac hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna get them all, baby. And right. Wait till you see. Just bring your equipment to your first show.
Okay.
We're gonna tape a lot of stuff. We're gonna do a lot of stuff, and you're gonna be part of the team, man. You're gonna get. It's gonna be a great weekend. I'm really excited for you, Cable Guy, because not only do we do this, but we're gonna be doing stuff that you can't even imagine.
Nice. Okay. Well.
And it all fell together. Right place at the right time.
Right.
So it's really cool, man. Now you finally get the chance to really take a dive into a good place in pro wrestling where you have some trustworthy people that have been around for 20-something years that like myself, that will look after you. And if I'm your friend and I look after you, guess what? My friends look after you.
Right. Okay.
So it kind of trickles down the line. So I think you'll be all right from now on.
Okay. Well, all right, man. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I thank everybody for listening. By the way, I do now have a Twitter up. The link is in the description, and I will put I will put Justin's up as well. And I already got two of the boys following me. You and randomly Mikey Whiprock. I wasn't expecting that, but that's
right on.
But that's fine,
Well, now that you have Twitter, what I'm going to do is every time I share your video, I'll share it out of my channel with your Twitter handle so they can follow you as well, so we can build your Twitter account as well.
Alrighty, okay, so that's all down in the
description. That's how it works, brother.
That's all down in the description, everybody, and we will see you next time. Let's all be nice to each other out there.
All right, kid. Well, I can't wait for the next one.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
This is a Chicky Beat production.